The rain hit the windows of the lonely diner in a rhythm that matched her heartbeat. Emily, a 24-year-old waitress, leaned against the counter, exhausted but still smiling the way her mother once taught her, because no matter how hard life got, kindness was never wasted. Her hands were calloused from long shifts. Her back ached from carrying trays, but her spirit, it still carried a quiet fire. She worked not just for herself but for her little brother Daniel, who waited at home with his school books, dreaming of college. Tonight was just another late shift. At least, that's what she thought until the door opened. So, if you're already hooked by this story, don't forget to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Exposed Tales for more powerful stories like this one. The bell above the door jingled, and 3 men walked in, thugs rowdy and loud, their presence sucking the warmth out of the diner. They smelled of cheap whiskey and cigarettes, their eyes already set on Emily as she approached with her notebook. She gave them the same smile she gave everyone, even though her gut told her this was trouble. "What can I get you tonight?" she asked politely. One of them leaned across the table, his breath hot with alcohol. "Maybe you, sweetheart." The others laughed, pounding the table, enjoying the way her face stiffened. Emily tried to stay professional. Coffee, burgers, pie. But they weren't there for food. They jeered at her, called her names, made gestures that turned the other late-night customers uncomfortable. One family sitting at the corner booth quickly paid their bill and left, not wanting to get caught up in the storm brewing. The cook, an older man named Frank, peeked through the kitchen window, worry etched on his face but fear keeping him rooted where he stood. Emily swallowed her fear. She'd dealt with rude customers before, but this was different. One of the men grabbed her wrist as she tried to place their order slip down, pulling her closer than she wanted to be. Her tray rattled. "Simon, sit with us. We'll make it worth your while. Please let go," she said firmly, her voice trembling but steady. She pulled back, but his grip tightened. The diner went silent. Everyone was watching, but no one moved. That's how fear works. It freezes people. Emily felt her chest tighten. For a split second, she thought she might have to fight her way out. And then, like fate itself stepped in, the bell above the door jingled again. This time the air shifted. The sound of heavy boots on the tile echoed through the diner as 5 bikers walked in, their leather jackets dripping with rain, their presence filling the room with something powerful, intimidation, but also protection. The largest of them, a man with a gray beard and sharp eyes, scanned the scene in seconds. He didn't need anyone to explain. He saw the thug's hand on Emily's wrist, the fear in her eyes, and the silence of the room. "What's going on here?" His voice was deep, gravelly, and calm, but dangerous. The thug holding Emily smirked. "None of your business, old man, unless you want to join us." He yanked Emily closer, trying to prove his dominance. That was his mistake. The gray, bearded biker stepped forward. The others spread out like a wall of steel behind him. Emily's heart raced. She didn't know these men, but something in their eyes told her they weren't here to cause trouble. They were here to end it. "Let her go," the biker said, his tone calm, almost gentle. But the weight of a storm rested beneath those words. The thug laughed, trying to mask his unease. "Or what?" The answer came faster than the thug could blink. The biker's hand shot out, gripping his wrist so hard that the man cried out and released Emily instantly. She stumbled back, and another biker gently caught her, making sure she was safe. The diner gasped. The balance of power had shifted. The thugs, now realizing they were outnumbered and outmatched, tried to bluster their way through it. But the bikers didn't raise their voices or make threats. They simply stood their ground, eyes locked, daring the cowards to make a move. And when one thug finally swung, chaos erupted. The fight was fast, brutal, and one-sided. Tables rattled, chairs scraped, and fists landed with bone-shaking force. But it wasn't messy, it was precise. These bikers knew exactly what they were doing. Within minutes, the 3 thugs were on the ground, groaning and humiliated, their arrogance drained like spilled coffee across the diner floor. Emily stood frozen, her hands trembling as tears filled her eyes. Not from fear anymore, but from something else: relief, gratitude. The gray, bearded biker stepped toward her, brushing the dust off his jacket, his knuckles raw but his eyes kind. "You all right, miss?" he asked softly. Emily nodded, tears spilling now. I didn't think anyone would help me." He gave her a small smile. "Sometimes the world's loud with the wrong kind of men. But not all of us are like them." Frank, the cook, came out of the kitchen, his face pale but grateful. "Coffee's on the house, gentlemen. For all of you." The bikers chuckled, taking their seats like nothing had happened. The storm outside had calmed, and inside the diner, so had the storm in Emily's heart. She brought them their coffee with shaky hands, whispering thank you over and over again. The gray, bearded biker looked at her and said something she'd never forget. "Remember this, kid. You're stronger than you know. But strength doesn't mean fighting alone. Sometimes it means knowing there are people out there who've got your back." That night, as Emily walked home under the rain, she carried those words with her. For the first time in a long while, she didn't feel small. She felt seen, protected, and she knew that no matter how cruel the world could get, there would always be sparks of kindness, sometimes arriving on heavy boots and roaring engines. Before we close, if this story touched your heart, make sure to like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Exposed Tales for more powerful, real-life inspired stories that remind us of courage, kindness, and hope. And so, the message remained etched in her soul: evil may walk in uninvited, but so can good. And sometimes, good arrives just in time, through strangers who remind us we are never truly alone.